The most expensive decision you can make in your VA disability journey. So let's talk about that. But first, my name is Mark Del Rosario. I'm a disabled veteran, like many of you watching. It took me close to a decade to get all the benefits I felt I deserved, and I lost close to $100,000 in unrealized benefits. My goal here is to give you content and value that will hopefully help you win your claim for free. But if you can't win your claim for free because you can't educate yourself, you're too busy, whatever your circumstance, I do run an education and consulting company called Veteran Nexus. And you can sign up at veterannexus.org. It's the place where veterans go to get the service they deserve and win their claims. So if I can't help you win for free, at least I can remove a lot of the pain and time from the process. But let's get into today's topic. That said, because we are talking about time and money, because that's what expensive decisions are, right? They cost you both time and money. So let's dive into this. So we're talking about the most expensive decision that you can make. Really, it's taking absolutely no action and letting each month pass by with money that you should be getting just burning. You're leaving it on the table. So you all signed up for the service. If you're watching this, you probably are a vet. And we all signed a dotted line, and we all wrote this blank check to the government. You could die doing this, basically, especially at a time of war. And it's just kind of like the least they can do is when I get out, I paid with my body, with my mental health, with my emotions, whatever. The least they can do is just help me get the benefits and build the best life I can based on my situation. Be the best mom, dad, husband, father, citizen that I can be, and not just this painful wreck that has no healthcare benefits when you get out of service. Point is, we're entitled to benefits. We hate that word, but if you signed a dotted line, you wrote a blank check to the government, and now you're hurt, they should be compensating you. So let's say that you're supposed to be at 50% disability. Let's say you have 0% disability right now. Well, each month that goes by then, you are losing $1,000. Month 2 passes, you lose another $1,000. Month 3 passes, there's another $1,000. And boom, 1 year becomes 1 month, one month becomes 1 year, 1 year becomes 5 years, and now you've lost something like 60 grand. So that was actually my story. You can find it at veterannexus.org. It's called the $90,000 secret, where I figured out I lost over 90K at that point in my journey because I wasn't being compensated properly when I got out. So it's just a mindset thing, but each month that passes, if you see that you're leaving money on the table, well, that will set a fire under your ass to do something about it, whether it's use a service, whether it's do it yourself, doesn't matter. Just do something. Case in point, I was talking to a veteran last week who we were commiserating about our journeys in VA disability, and we'd both paid services. I paid a lot more than he did. That's what the conversation was about. He's like, man, I paid $6 grand to this company 4 years ago. I'm really mad about it. I'm entitled to that benefit. Why do I have to pay them? And I told him, yeah, I get it. I paid 20, close to it at least. And the last person being an agent who I paid close to 10 grand, and I waited 5 years for that claim to resolve. Man, that was a tough one. But it was no factor to me. And I was telling him, I was like, I don't care, because at that point, bro, I'd lost over $100,000. These people were solving my problem. Sure, I wish it could have been faster. That's the only gripe I had. Because if I had paid a consulting company that I knew about, it would have been the same amount of money for less amount of time. That was the only gripe I had. But other than that, the only reason I remembered how much money I'd spent was, one, because he asked, and 2, because I recorded this video. But 10 years from now, I'm not even going to remember how much I paid. That money, 90% of it wasn't even out of pocket. And that's what I was explaining to this vet. And we were just going back and forth on it. So I asked him, okay, man, well, what have you been doing? It's like, oh, I've just been using a VSO the last 3 years. And I was trying to get him to see that, whoa, well, have you done the math on how much that's cost you? He's like, what are you talking about? It's free. I'm like, bro, it's like each year. I asked him what rating does he believe he's at. He says he's 100. Like, I don't know. That's what he told me. If he believes he's 100%, he was leaving approximately $2,000 on the table each month, every time that a month went by and he didn't get what he deserved. So he was complaining about a $6,000 payment, but I was like, you've been using a free service that's not been working, and if you believe you really need the benefit and you're at 100, you've lost well over 40 grand. I mean, that's, I don't even want to do the math on that. That's like 5-6x more than what he would have paid a company to solve his problem. But in the end, I wasn't trying to get him to use a service. I was just trying to get him to see that, I was like, man, try something else. It doesn't matter what you try. Use a different VSO, get some better education, because this isn't working, right? And if you have to use a service, go use a service. But if you don't want to use one, just doing the same thing is not a good option. That's the second most expensive decision you can make, is just doing the same thing that's not working over and over, because you feel entitled to the benefit, which is true, right? That's a true thing. We are entitled to these benefits. Like I said in the beginning of this video, that's a truth. What's also true is there's a free service out there that, you know, the government wants us to use to get our benefits. Now, those things are both true, but here's the dichotomy. There's I think a poet 100 years ago that said, it's not the things you don't know that will kill you. It's the things that you do know to be true, like you think they're true at least, but they just ain't. That's the Mark translation of what it said. It's in you old English, it's confusing, but basically, you know, it's not the things you don't know that are gonna hurt you. It's the things you think are true but just aren't. And what are those beliefs? That stigma that we hold is, well, I'm entitled to this, there's a free service, I'm not gonna pay anyone. That's the thought that's really expensive. And that's what's going on here, right? This guy is, you know, 3 years in with the VSO, probably started losing money on, you know, month 18, halfway through that journey, and he won't change his strategy, and that just doesn't make sense. So he has sunk cost fallacy, where you don't do the math on how much a free thing costs or a bad thing costs, and you just double down on it, right? So that was my opinion for him. Was, look, man, you just got to try something else. If you don't want to pay a service, you're gonna have to start like really educating yourself, reading in forums, and courses on the internet that you get will only take you so far. I remember going through that personally. I had to go look through forums, I had to look through threads, I had to sift through a lot of data, and then I had to figure out if it was true. And even after that, I just had to try it and see if it worked. So, you know, do the math on that. What if it takes you 2 years to educate? It still would have been cheaper to use a company. So there's just some calculus that needs to be done here in your mind, and whatever is right for you is what you need to go with, right? If it's educating yourself because you have a sense of pride doing that, it's a free country, go do it. But if you're like, all right, I just need to solve my problem, then you just need to pick someone to go with and pay them. Because here's the dirty secret in this industry, everything's the same, right? When you take the value of what's being sold across every company, it's the same. It's like, use an agent or an attorney. On average, you'll probably pay something like $6,000 to $8,000, and you'll wait 3 years. There's an average out there, and it probably looks something like that. If you use a consulting company, you'll probably pay more, like 8 to 9, but then you'll wait 6 months. They're all priced in basically the same. You know, you pay when you win, that type of thing. So just pick which one works for you. Basically, you're gonna go with who makes you feel the best and who you trust, right? We buy feelings, we don't buy things. I believe that. And this is a really touchy subject for vets, because the stigma is, I don't want to pay anybody. So I don't feel good paying anyone for this thing. But if you can do the math and figure out most expensive decisions here, then at least you can get started on the journey. If you're supposed to win for free, go do that. I want you to win for free. If you've never filed a claim before, you probably need to use a VSO, because you don't know if it'll work or not. A lot of people that say that these businesses are a scam are usually the folks that use the VSO once, won their claim, and moved on with their lives, right? And I don't know what the nature of your service was. Maybe your unit was cool and let you go to the hospital, but I know my unit was always looking at people like they were dirtbags if they did that. So, you know, I don't know what to tell you guys. You have to choose what's right for you, but I'm here to educate you. At a minimum, you got to look at the most expensive decisions that you'll make in this journey. And the first one is doing nothing and expecting the free service to just help you without running that math in your head. Like, how much money am I losing each month by using the free service? And if you lose, you probably don't want to use it indefinitely. And that's the second most expensive decision there, is you're just doing the thing that doesn't work and you keep doing it. So don't do that. And if I can break a couple stigmas here towards the end of this video, I will. One of them being paid services aren't always bad, right? If they can help you solve your problem, that's one way to look at it. The other one is, are disabilities bad? I don't think so, right? You served your country, you got hurt. Just because you have a disability and you're drawing benefits doesn't make you a horrible citizen. In fact, for me and my story, getting disability benefit actually prevented me from being homeless and building something great with my life. In my opinion, it's great. If it's not great, it's going to be great. And that's the goal here. It's not just to be on welfare, right, or to be seen as weak. It's about moving on with your life and building the best thing you can. And this is part of that journey. Hopefully a small part. You don't want to be fighting for your disability benefits for over a decade. Don't do that. If you're in that spot where you have to fight for longer than like 7 years, you might as well just go get rich doing something else. This is not worth that much time and pain. It pains me to see that in the comment sections of social media where people are like, I won my claim 30 years later, I'm at 40%. Like, there's something very wrong with this picture here. But each to their own. And I hope that you got value from this video. And if you did, please like and subscribe. Tell all your friends. I'm at 90 subscribers now, I think. So, man, thank you all to those who are listening. I appreciate you. We're real small. Please ask questions, leave comments. Tell me what you want me to talk about. These videos, last note here, another ugly truth in this industry is all the information's the same. So what I've opted to do is I just want to hear what my audience wants me to talk about. So, and if you leave a topic, I'll talk about it in one of my next videos. So with that, that's all I have. And I will see you all next week. Take care now.